Day three, and my body is hurting. Oh yeah. So day three, 75 hard, and look, everything is hurting, particularly calves, glutes. The interesting thing about ramping up to 75 hard is that I've usually trained 2 hours a week at the gym, 1 hour on Tuesday morning, 1 hour Thursday morning. So reasonably hard weights, all that sort of stuff. But beyond that, the rest of it has been relatively mild. But the requirement 75 hard being 45 minutes of a workout, I've jumped in on some high intensity training stuff, and ramped it back a little bit in terms of looking for some easier stuff because it is hurting. What I have learned so far is that this is doable on a daily basis, that the battle is each day. And a lot of systems in life are daily systems. Do I show up and do a live video each day? Do I go and train each day? Do I meditate each day? Do I learn about something in life each day? Do I practice my harmonium each day? All of these things are questions that come and are asked to me. And if I do them on the daily, then the incremental improvements add up over time. But this 75 hard thing, it's interesting. It's interesting because the challenge at the moment, not too bad. It's not too bad. The alcohol thing, not a big deal. Happy to do that. The diet is a challenge. Why? Because I got kids, my wife and kids, and they're on a different protocol. You know, they're not on a specific diet. My diet of choice, Metabolic Precision, has an interesting feature, and that is if you train hard, then you get to eat carbs. Now, for total transparency, last night the pizza arrived and I hadn't trained, but I finished the pizza and then I started training. Now, I don't know whether that's technically going to meet the requirements for Metabolic Precision, but fuck it, I counted. I'm like, all right, look, I did the training and I ate the pizza. The pizza came first. It was within 5 minutes. Not a big deal. You may speak and say, hey, dude, you got to train and then eat, and then you can have your carbs. Fuck it. I'm okay with that. I can live with this. I'm still counting it. So, you know what? I just wanted that out there that you may argue with and say, hey, it's got to be perfect. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with eating the pizza to make my family work as well. Like, if you're single, if you haven't got kids, then your ability to be to create a life where you want things to be a certain way, that is a lot higher than my capacity. Add in wife, add in kids, it gets super spicy really quickly, particularly just in terms of throwing COVID on top of that, throwing everything on top, the technology. It's like, wow. Oh, my kids definitely appear to be video game addicts. I'm like, wow, I don't know where you got that from, since I have that. I'm totally I can't play at all. It triggers off the addiction just like every other addiction. It doesn't destroy my body like alcohol or cocaine or something like that, but is still not a good addiction. It destroys my life. You're like, dude, video games destroyed your life? And I'm like, yeah. I literally do video games the whole time. And so my kids have this as well. It's probably genetic, or I don't think it's genetic. It seems pretty prevalent out there. All right. I wanted to bring one more thing up, and that is that it helps to have awareness of what's to come. So I was on a coaching call today, and I could only be on it for half an hour, but I'm watching the replay, and it was interesting. What Garrett said, it was with Wake Up Warrior. Go check out playwarrior.io. Garrett was like, you know what? The interesting thing about 75 hard is that at the beginning it's okay. It's doable, but around week 4, week 5, then the real challenge begins. There's a stacking up of the commitment that makes it very difficult to continue. and he was suggesting an interesting solution to this. He was like, don't get too attached to the high, don't get too attached to the low. I'm like, whoa, what is coming down the pipeline? But it helps to know that that is coming. So I'm not surprised by it. It's like, oh wow, here I am week 4. I really want to quit. Week 5, I really want to quit. Knowing that that's coming and knowing that the pain and the difficulty of the program gets harder, that it's not just a consistent run. This is just like a marathon. This is just like an event where the first mile is a very different mile than the last mile. I've done 1 marathon. It was horrible. What happened was 30 kilometers of pretty good and then 12 kilometers of pure horrific pain. So much so that stopping for a rest caused a relief, but trying to run again was brutal, horrible, so painful. In the end, I just decided to run with back pain, neck pain, everything hurting. I did 4 hours, 12 minutes. Not even a great time, but man, it destroyed my body. I didn't take any expert training. I didn't really know what I was doing at all. Pretty dumb. But that's what you get for being 30 years old. So, anyway, I also moved my family that year. It was nuts. It was a crazy year. So it's a long time ago. It took me a long time to actually release I had some kind of delayed onset muscle pain that would appear whenever I start training. And it still happens a little bit. It's super weird. It's like, feels like the end of the marathon, but magnesium really helps. But coming back to the principle, right now, there is a momentum that's being built. And at some point, presumably in the next week, 2 weeks, there will be a high. But knowing that this is going to be met by a low around week 4, week 5 allows my mind to prepare for it and both stay committed to the end results that I'm after and the approach of doing it daily. Have a think about what systems in your business need to be executed daily, what needs to be done weekly, what needs to be done monthly, what needs to be quarterly. How do you schedule those and how do you run those, particularly the ones that are both run daily, because it's very easy for those ones to go off course, and the ones that run rarely, how do you track those? These system stuff makes a difference. It really does. You can do far more with far less, leading, and one of the interesting things that comes up is that you will not have to deal with anywhere near as many fires, emergencies, stressful situations. And so what I wonder is whether many entrepreneurs, many business owners actually have an addiction to that fire putting out. You see, systems and processes is going to eliminate that from you, and you are going to have to find another way to get a high that is not saving the day. Even though you might say that you don't want to do this continues. There is a solution, systems and processes. Come on. If you want to actually stop putting out fires, stop working 60, 80, 100-hour weeks, stop messing up your marriage, stop going to bed at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, then you must embrace systems and processes. If you want some help with that, head over to systemio.dev. Thanks for tuning in today. Day 375 hard. It is getting spicy. My legs hurt. I still got another training session for this afternoon, for tonight, and I'm excited to get that under my belt, continue this little journey into 75 hard. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue this longer journey into the power of systems, create results. See you then.